Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, that is the BSO entrance exam by your coach Bakul Hanspal. This is Bakul Hanspal, the founder and the CEO of this very edtech startup, and in this very video we are going to talk about CULEE 2026. I hope you must have watched my other videos which are there in the OLED playlist, where I have basically dealt with different other law entrance exams apart from CLAT, ALET and SLAT, where we have dealt with LNAT, NLAT, BITS Law, Aligarh Muslim University, Jamia Millia Islamia University, CUET, BLLB, MHCT, etc. I also had to prepare a very separate video to clear all the doubts related to the NLAT exam regarding NMIMS and all. So मैंने उसमें सब कुछ cover करके रखा हुआ है. This video is about CULEE 2026, especially the second round, because the first round had already been taken place in the month of December. Going to talk about the second round of CULEE in this. Also, अगर आपने मेरी बाकी की वीडियोस नहीं देखी हैं, I would highly recommend to watch those videos. I have already attached those videos, especially that playlist on the I button. So I would request you to watch those if you're not planning to give CULEE and planning to give other law entrance exams. Also, if you are targeting all the law entrance exams, क्योंकि सारे ही अच्छे हैं, तो in that case आप ये भी वीडियो देख लीजिएगा और वो सारी भी आप देख लीजिएगा, where I've explained everything. I've covered each and every point regarding the fee structure, regarding the hostel facility, regarding the cut-offs, the fee structure, as well as the marks distribution, the kinds of questions that come in the exam, how to prepare for those questions, etc. etc. I've covered about a lot many things, right? तो क्यूली में हम सेकेंड राउंड से डील कर रहे हैं, एंड जो होने वाला है, बिकॉज एग्जाम दो राउंड्स में होता है, तो अगर आपने फर्स्ट राउंड नहीं दिया तो डेफिनेटली यू कैन अपीयर फॉर द सेकेंड राउंड. Right. So the last date to fill the application form for CULEE exam is 30th March 2026. I'm reiterating over it again and again. You need to fill this form by 30th March 2026. So if you haven't filled up this form, so go right away, check the form out and fill that form right away, ताकि दिमाग से slip ना हो जाए बिल्कुल भी. ठीक है? Again, there are three campuses that come. Why the CULEE exam? You have the Bangalore one, which is obviously the most prestigious one. Of course, the oldest one. So this is Bangalore. The second one is in the Delhi NCR region, which is primarily in Ghaziabad. And the third one is in Pune, which is the Lavasa campus. So three campuses you have of Christ University. Completely depends on you which one you want to choose. If you're already living in the region of Delhi NCR, you want to go for the Delhi NCR campus, you can go for that as well. If you want the most, of course, the most prestigious one, then obviously going to Bangalore is the most recommended option. Fine. So let's understand about the exam structure, exam pattern, etc. So exam structure is very much similar to CLAT. When I talk about, it's a 120-minute paper, that is 2-hour paper, and the CLAT is also similar to this. So you get plus 1 mark for every correct answer, and you get minus 0.25 for every incorrect answer. There is a negative marking of 0.25 mark. However, in other law entrance exams that we discussed, like MHCT, you do not have negative marking. So it's always recommended. Also for SLAT, it's always recommended to attempt all the questions. For CUET also, we usually recommend our students to attempt all the questions, because you get plus 5 for each and every answer, and you get minus 1 for every incorrect answer. And the disparity, there is of course a great disparity in the number of marks you get, plus 5 and plus 1, as you can see. So again, you need to be very cautious regarding the number of questions that you would be attempting in CULEE. Fine. It's an offline exam. Let's talk about the kinds of sections that you get in the exam. Fine. So first of all, you have English section, which is 30 marks. English includes verbal reasoning, comprehension skills, everything. Then you have the quantitative reasoning, fundamental mathematics, and basic maths questions of 25 marks. Obviously, when I'm saying 30 questions or 30 marks, 25 marks means 25 questions, right? 1 mark for every question and vice versa. Then you have your data analysis and data interpretation questions, your DIs, 20 marks. Now you would see there's this bifurcation between these two sections, QT as well as DI or data analytical section. उन्होंने जानबूझ के रखा हुआ है QT में, they're going to ask one-liner questions. They're going to ask about basic mathematics. In data interpretation, especially, they are going to give you a caselet where you're going to solve questions. A whole big passage would be given to you. Then you have the critical reasoning section, analytical reasoning section, and a logical reasoning section, which carries your 20 marks, right? For this, right? So which is going to carry 20 marks. Fine. So इसमें क्या है, दिस इज क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग. यू ऑब्वियसली नो अबाउट थिंग्स लाइक स्ट्रेंथनिंग द आर्ग्यूमेंट, वीकनिंग द आर्ग्यूमेंट, assumption based questions, paradox, resolving the flaw, finding out the flaw, finding out the conclusion, inference, main point, everything is covered in the critical reasoning section. So आपने अगर मेरी एलिट की वीडियोस देख रखी हैं, एलिट में जब मैंने सारे टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन से डील करा था क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग वाले, वो भी मैं प्लेलिस्ट लगा दूंगी इधर. आप उन क्वेश्चंस को वो करके चले जाइएगा, आपको चीजें समझ में आ जाएंगी. आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड ऑल द बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स वेरी ब्यूटीफुली ओवर देयर. Then analytical reasoning, all kinds of analytical reasoning questions under the sun you're going to get. And under the sun ऐसा नहीं कुछ out of box पूछ लेंगे. All the questions that you've already practiced for CLAT and ALET, like you would be getting questions based on syllogisms, you are going to get questions based on clocks, based on calendars, based on coding, decoding, based on letters, based on finding out the missing letters, etc. सारे types of questions आपको इसमें मिलेंगे, and that is not too difficult. If you know the basic concepts, if you know these basic concepts at the back of your hand for analytical reasoning, you would be able to solve the questions for sure. For logical reasoning is basically culmination of both of these. So you're going to get questions of logical reasoning in this particular section. So fine, English is covered of 30 marks, QT is covered of 25 marks. Then you have GK. GK is again of 25 marks. So GK 25 marks ka, remember, you had already prepared a very good amount of GK for your CLAT exam till the month of December. You usually prepare, right? Till the month of November you prepare. Now you need to prepare for December, January, February and March. These 4 month GK extra you need to do. And obviously you must have prepared for, if you would have prepared for SLAT, you would have prepared for the December GK. If you would have prepared for ALET, you would have prepared some part of the December GK, etc. So ये सब तो चीजें हैं, ये आपको जीके एक्स्ट्रा करनी पड़ेंगी. ग्रेट. देन यू हैव टोटल ऑफ 120 मार्क्स, वो तो आपको दिख ही गया है इधर से. देन यू मस्ट बी वंडरिंग देयर इज नो लीगल रीजनिंग सेक्शन इन दिस. So does legal reasoning is not tested in this particular exam? It is tested. How is it tested? It is the legal reasoning section is tested specifically in the CR, analytical reasoning and logical reasoning section. So legal section is covered in this particular section. So they'll ask you legal reasoning के भी questions इसमें से, because it's a very wide topic. Critical reasoning, analytical reasoning, logical reasoning. So according to them, the legal reasoning section also comes within the realm of this. क्योंकि रीजनिंग का सेक्शन है तो याद रखना, तो लीगल भी पूछा जा रहा है. इट इज नॉट एक्सक्लूडेड. व्हेन यू गोइंग टू सी द सिलेबस यू वुड फील दैट लीगल इज एक्सक्लूडेड, बट इज नॉट एज पर द क्वेश्चंस दैट हैज बीन आस्किंग ओवर इयर्स. फाइन. लास्ट डेट मैंने आपको बता दी कौन सा है. टाइप्स ऑफ कैंपसेस मैंने आपको बता दी कौन सा है. अब थोड़ा सा देख लेते हैं कि प्रिपेयर कैसे करना है. बट उससे पहले अगेन, is it just a written examination? No, it is not a written examination. You have a micro presentation in this. You also have a personal interview round in this. Plus, you have evaluation of your previous academic records, right? Academic records, marks, etc. All of that. How is it that? Let's understand. पहले आपका क्यूली का आ जाएगा रिटन स्कोर, ठीक है. उसके बाद you need to prepare for your micro presentation. Micro presentation is that they will give you any random topic. It's kind of an extempore. If you must have undertaken extempore in your school, in some competitions, in some random in-house your inter-house discussions, then you must have actually again felt the kind of pressure that you get when you're preparing for, when you, because what is extempore? Extempore is when any random topic is given to you and you need to speak on that. You do not get any extra time to prepare for that particular topic. That is extempore. So a micro presentation is a kind of an extempore only, where you get any random topic and you need to speak on it for 1 to 2 minutes, right? Because you need to speak it under pressure, because you do not have any previous or prior knowledge based on that. You have not prepared anything based on that. They'll give you a random topic, like let's suppose speak on artificial intelligence for 1 to 2 minutes. So you need to speak within that stipulated time frame only. So they're just testing how you're able to speak confidently, how you're able to put forward your arguments, your perspective within that stipulated time frame. So this is the micro presentation that you need to give. Again, what I would call a entrance exam, which determines or which scrutinizes every student holistically. They're not taking any random child. Like for example, कोई भी अगर आप बात कर लो, when you are preparing for any other law entrance exam like CLAT, like it's just a written exam. They're just gonna take you. But you also, there are other aspects also by which a student it should be evaluated, like SLAT does. Even if your written examination did not go well, you're called for the interview. If your interview goes really well, if you have a lot many extracurriculars, co-curriculars on your CV, symbiosis takes you, right? In the same way, this particular college is also going to take you. If you're very confident with your extempore, well to do, you are done. Then you have the personal interview round. So within the same session itself, पहले 1-2 मिनट का ये हो गया, फिर आपका पर्सनल इंटरव्यू सेक्शन जहां पर आपसे क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाएंगे. अब नॉट अ वेरी बिग डील. I've already prepared a video based on my symbiosis personal interview round. I had got how much percentile? 99.0694 some what percentile I got in SLAT. So मेरे को symbiosis पुणे मिला था. So this is about keep personal interview round का separate video I've already prepared. I would be attaching that video on the I button. I would recommend you to watch that video because I have dealt with the probable questions that the interviewer can ask. और वही questions बनते हैं घुमा फिरा कर. Why did you want to pursue law? What is your I would say future aspiration for it? Or maybe what do you want to become in future? Why law? Why BLLB? Why BB LLB? So these kind of questions will be put forward to you in PI. Also because you need to prepare a CV also. And for a CV, whatever thing that you would be putting in your CV, that you should know at the back of your hand. Evaluation of academic records, that whatever previous marks that you would have scored in class 12th, class 10th, or let's suppose any extracurricular or co-curricular activities, any extra courses or degrees that you must have undertaken, all those things would be questioned. All those things would be or would also be seen during your interview process. And therefore, after so much or after a very hefty holistic, I would say, scrutinization of each and every candidate, your admission would be done into the different campuses of Christ University. Fine. So ये सारी चीजें थी. अब prepare कैसे करें? Prepare है that for an English section, always you need to remember, for English, whenever you get any RC question, whenever they want to make any RC question really difficult, from where do they pick up passages? They pick up passages from editorials. From which newspaper? Majorly The Hindu or the Indian Express. As simple as that. क्यों? क्योंकि इंडियन एक्सप्रेस को मैं इसके थोड़ा नीचे इसलिए रख रही हूँ बिकॉज हिंदू इज ऑलवेज हैज ऑलवेज बिन माय वेरी फर्स्ट प्रेफरेंस बिकॉज द लैंग्वेज इन हिंदू दैट्स नॉट वेरी इजी, दैट्स अ बिट hefty, that's a bit tricky. So always start with the Hindu. Always, okay, obviously you can start with the Indian Express, but as there is time constraint, there is paucity of time, you do not have sufficient time left, so you can start reading the Hindu, right? So passages can come because they have very good vocabulary, etc. So your RC section would be prepared. और RC में बाकी सब क्या होता है? Proverbs, antonyms, synonyms, then one word substitution, etc. etc. ये सारी चीजें बेसिक पूछी जाती हैं. जीके में तो जीके स्टैटिक जीके तो इट रिमेन्स द सेम जो अब तक आप पढ़ते आए हो. बस अपनी करंट अफेयर्स आप बार बार रिवाइज करते रहिएगा जिस भी सोर्स से आप कर रहे हो, वेदर यू आर डूइंग इट फ्रॉम एनी काइंड ऑफ कोचिंग मैगजीन एक्सेट्रा. मैथ्स में क्यूटी मेक श्योर ऑल योर कॉन्सेप्ट्स आर स्ट्रॉन्ग बिकॉज क्यूटी और डीआई एक सेपरेट सेक्शन बन जाता है जहां डीआई सिर्फ क्लैट में पूछा जाता है और मैथ्स का भी सिर्फ एक ही सेक्शन होता है. क्यूटी इज जस्ट वन सेक्शन अदर डिफरेंट कंपेरेटिव एग्जाम्स. यहाँ पर क्यूटी और डीआई सेपरेटली पूछा जा रहा है, तो मेक श्योर यू हैव वेल कमांड ओवर योर मैथ. दे आर नॉट आस्किंग यू टू डिफिकल्ट मैथ्स. 10th लेवल तक का तो आप प्रिपेयर कर ही सकते हो. यू शुड नो इट एट द बैक ऑफ योर हैंड, सो कीप प्रैक्टिसिंग इट. The same time, your critical reasoning, analytical reasoning section and logical reasoning, which also includes your legal reasoning section. तो यहाँ पर हमेशा देखा गया क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग का वेटेज एनालिटिकल रीजनिंग से ज्यादा है. तो जब वेटेज ज्यादा है तो सीआर के क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस करने बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. और मैंने तो एलिट के बहुत डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चंस बना रखे हैं आपके लिए, आपको कॉन्सेप्ट्स पता चलेंगे. इनफैक्ट इवन इफ यू टाइप आउट ऑन गूगल कि क्यूली के आपको क्वेश्चंस मिल जाए, मॉक टेस्ट वगैरह मिल जाए, तो आप वहां से भी प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हो, तो इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं रहेगा. लास्ट डेट मैंने आपको बता दी है 30th मार्च. ठीक है, अप्रैल अराउंड आपका एग्जाम हो जाएगा सेकंड राउंड एंड देन योर एडमिशन बी डन. देन आपका कैसा फी स्ट्रक्चर रहता है? अच्छा, वैसे देखा जाए काफी अफोर्डेबल कॉलेज रहता है सारे पर्सपेक्टिव से देखा जाए, क्योंकि अगर मैं हॉस्टल फी और आपका बाकी सारी चीजें एकेडमिक फी वगैरह मिला के देखूं तो इट्स रफली व्हाट आई एम गेटिंग. अगेन द फी वुड बी रिवाइज्ड बिकॉज इट्स अ प्राइवेट कॉलेज. वट एवर फी दैट आई एम टेलिंग यू, दैट इज द ओल्ड डेटा, दैट इज हाउएवर द लेटेस्ट डेटा. सो आप ये एक चीज देख लेना, जब भी आप फी देखोगे तो फी रिवाइज होकर आएगी. फी बढ़ती है हर साल, 10% बढ़ेगी, 8% बढ़ेगी, हर साल बढ़ती है. ठीक है, तो इट कम्प्लीटली डिपेंड्स ऑन द कॉलेज. सो यू करंटली 15.5 लाख मेरे को दिख रहा था 5 साल का पूरा मिलाकर. उससे पहले का मेरे को 12 लाख दिखा था. अगेन एक अपवर्ड ट्रेंड आपको दिखा है 3.5 lakhs का इधर. एंड हॉस्टल का फीस अराउंड, इट्स अराउंड ईयरली वाइज पर एनम वाइज 70K to 1 lakh per annum for your hostel. Completely depends on you whether you want to stay in the hostel or not, or if you want to live outside. So this is around 20 plus lakh only. It's not too much over 20, it is a little bit above 20, but again आपकी बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं, you would be going for internships, your travel allowance and everything, योर ट्रैवल एक्सपेंसेस एंड एवरीथिंग। तो वो सारी चीजें आप खुद की देखनी पड़ेंगी। मूड्स के लिए आप बाहर जाते हो, दो द रिम्बर्समेंट स्कीम ऑफ कॉलेज इज ऑल्सो देयर, बट यू नीड टू सी कि आप मूड्स के लिए आप जाते हो बाहर, यू आर स्पेंडिंग अमाउंट, यू गोइंग टू एनी अदर स्टेट फॉर इंटर्नशिप, यू नीड टू सी द अमाउंट, यू गोइंग बैक होम, यू नीड टू सी द अमाउंट, सो एडिंग अप ऑल प्लस सम काइंड ऑफ एंसिलरी एक्सपेंसेस ऑल्सो दैट यू वुड नीड टू सी। तो ये सारी चीजें आपको इसमें देखनी पड़ेंगी, फैक्टर इन करनी पड़ेंगी, एंड फॉर एवरी कॉलेज, नॉट ओनली स्पेसिफिकली फॉर दिस बट फॉर एवरी कॉलेज। बट kindly see the revised fee structure. This is the most latest one, revised one they're gonna release. How? Because they have already released their admission portal. They have started with that for the year 2026 to 27. ये सारी चीजें, प्लेसमेंट्स का सीन अच्छा रहता है क्योंकि देखा जाता है ये जो कॉलेज है यहाँ पर प्लेसमेंट्स अच्छी मिलती है बच्चों को, क्योंकि फी देखा जाए तो काफी कम है इस एस्पेक्ट में। एनएलयूज जितनी है, ठीक है, कुछ एनएलयू से भी ज्यादा इसकी, एनएलयू से भी कम फीस है इसकी कुछ एनएलयू से, और एनएलयू से कुछ ज्यादा भी इसकी फीस है, और एनएलयू के बराबर भी फीस है। लेकिन देखा जाए ओवरऑल मोटा मोटा राइट ऑन द फेस वैल्यू कि प्राइवेट कॉलेजेस से तो इसकी फी काफी कम ही है, लेकिन प्लेसमेंट्स आपको इससे अच्छी मिलती है। एटलीस्ट कॉर्पोरेट एक्सपोजर इज गुड फ्रॉम दिस कॉलेज, राइट, बिकॉज इट हैज एंड ऑल्सो इट हैज अ वेरी गुड एलुमनाई बेस। तो ये मैं आपको बता दूं, सो देयरफॉर क्राइस्ट यूनिवर्सिटी का बहुत अच्छा सीन चल रहा है। कैंपस के बारे में बात करी जाए, देखो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे इन द लॉ स्कूल इट्स लाइक यू ओनली नीड टू पुट द एफर्ट एवरी टाइम, यू ओनली नीड टू डू थिंग्स एवरी टाइम, देयर इज नोबडी हु इज गोइंग टू स्पून फीड यू, देयर इज नोबडी हु इज गोना गिव अपॉर्चुनिटीज ऑन योर प्लेट, इट इज यू हु नीड्स टू फाइंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज फॉर योर सेल्फ, राइट। तो आप बैंगलोर जाओ, आप दिल्ली एनसीआर जाओ, आप पुणे जाओ, ये आप पर डिपेंड करता है आपको किधर जाना है, क्योंकि मेहनत आपको खुद करनी पड़ेगी इवन फॉर गेटिंग अ गुड प्लेसमेंट फॉर एनी अदर लॉ स्कूल एज वेल, यू नीड टू वर्क हार्ड, you need to put in effort, even if you're there in Bangalore, right? So yeah, with this we shall we have already come to the end of this video, right? I think I think I've cleared all your doubts regarding QLE exam and everything. बाकी भी बहुत सारी वीडियोस हैं, आप उनको जाके देख लीजिएगा। Now we shall end this video. Bye, good luck, stay tuned.